Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of Coffee with Father James. I hope you can grab a cup of coffee, sit down and spend 5, 6, 7 minutes with me today. I have some good news for you, some good news for us as a parish. We've been speaking for quite some time about the problem on Maple Street with the wall that was falling in and the trees. And as you know, we took the trees down a couple of weeks ago, and we were preparing a short-term solution that we hope the city would be okay with. So the good news is this: not only is the city okay with the short-term solution as a short-term solution, they're okay with it as a long-term solution. And they've informed us that once that work is done, they consider the case closed. So here's the good news: that bringing down the tree and fixing the wall, according to our plans, is going to cost us about $30,000. And just remember that previously the low quote was $300,000. The high-end quote was $500,000. So a lot to be grateful for there, that we've got a long-term solution that the city is happy with for that amount of money. We kind of dodged that bullet, I think. So thanks be to God for that, and thanks to everyone who was involved in that whole conversation and planning process. So much to tell you. We've got some changes at weekend masses. You know, last 2 weekends we introduced the fourth mass time. We also reintroduced music. And as I mentioned last week, I know that is a bittersweet thing for many folks, especially the St. Peter's folks, because remember, so many of our parishioners as well, the changes have been huge because they're not having Sunday Mass in their own home church building. And so that's already a big change. But, you know, we have gone forward with music with volunteers, and it's great to have music back. But I know it's difficult for some because in some cases it's a different style of music than what we're used to. And again, I just want to re-echo the principle that we're moving forward on is that we're going to have a variety of styles of music. You know, previously we had one style of music and basically the same music at all the masses, and that's a significant change. So we have at the Saturday 4 o'clock Mass and the 9 o'clock Sunday Mass a more traditional piano, organ, cantor, more very familiar to what we've had before, close to what we've had before. And at the 11 a.m. and the 7 p.m. we have a more contemporary sound. And again, I don't expect everyone to like every particular style of music. But please, if it's not your style, please be respectful, because different styles appeal to different people. And let's be respectful of that. Remember, the measure of liturgical music is that if it moves people to worship of God. Simple as that. So if you prefer a more traditional style, check out the Saturday Mass at the 9 a.m., more contemporary style, the 11 a.m. and the 7 p.m., at least for now, because the musicians we have right now, again, it's short term. We're kind of like scratching it together. We're still looking for volunteers, so please, if you've got musical gifts, please step forward. We'd love to involve as many people as we can. That's, I think, a very important principle. Another change at weekend masses is the cards. Now, we had a few comments about, what is this? It's like going to Sobeys. But remember, we are required by law to track and record who comes to Mass. And once everyone has been issued with one of these cards, it literally is a beep and you're in. And this will hopefully cause the line to move much more quickly. And that's important because guess what? It's getting cold outside, and we don't want lots of people hanging around. You know, it's bad enough that we have a risk of a pandemic and viruses, never mind getting hypothermia coming to church. The application deadline for the 2 positions, the communications position to replace Lydia's role, and also the new operations director of operations. We have received a number of applications. We've put together an interviewing committee, and we're in process of that. And there's some good applications, so we'll keep you posted on that as well. Now, I'm just checking my list here. New Foundation series. We finished the third of those meetings. We looked at the question of what's your dream? How do you connect with what God is calling us to do? What's in your heart? What's your dream for our parish? And this coming weekend on Saturday, we have the fourth meeting, and that is going to be about changing our minds. It's going to be about together committing to the journey to turn from perhaps mindsets, ways of doing things in the past to a new way, to go, making a commitment, a decision to go on this journey into the future. So that's Saturday, 9:30 until 12, and this coming week on Monday from 7 to 9. Also want to mention that in 2 weeks' time, the Archbishops, or the Archdiocesan Assembly of the People of God is coming up, and there's more information about that in our newsletter. But here's the final thing I'd like to talk with you about, and that is that this week there was going to be work being done in the church, at St. Peter's Church. I'll share more information about this next week, but basically when I arrived at the parish, I saw that, from a technological point of view, we were maybe not really up to date. And one of the issues was the sound system, which is actually older than me. I know, that old. It goes back to the original building. It's 1969, but it was a very innovative way to put sound in. The speakers are actually in the lights, which is really amazing. But it is the original sound system. And so a number of parishioners spoke about how in certain areas of the church it's very difficult to hear. It's not the greatest quality. So the need for new sound system, the need for visual aids, and also cameras for live streaming. In short, I thought, we really need to do a whole new installation of AV, to audio visual, to bring our church kind of into the modern age, bring it into our own times with regard to technology. A problem because, we've got financial problems, but basically behind the scenes, I was able to raise the money to do this in different ways with different people. So without touching the budget, the money in the budget, or money that we have on deposit, I was able to raise and cover all the costs of the equipment and the installation. So I just wanted you to know that. And if you're around the church in the next week or so and you see workmen around, and you'll understand what's going on. So hopefully that will be finished and all set up in a week or two. That is going to take us a little while to figure it all out, but I'm hoping that by mid-November, we might even be able to have live streaming up and running, high quality HD from fixed robotic cameras. Anyway, I'll tell you more about that next week. So some technological improvements, hopefully that will help us out. Some good news with facilities and with finances. As you know, we mentioned last week, we're going to be winterizing this coming week 2 of our locations. We know that has to be done right. It has to be done in a way that doesn't damage the buildings, checking in the buildings, humidity controls, all of these things, so that no damage is done to our building, but we minimize the cost right now. And looking forward to May next year when we'll reopen them and go back to having weekday Mass. Anyway, I think that's probably more than enough for now. That's a lot of stuff this week. So I didn't even get a chance to take a drink of my coffee. So God bless you all, and thanks for joining me. Take care. Minutes, yeah.